vote for Graham Moore in Runcorn and Helsby on the 1st of May 2025. I promise you, it's the first time since the Second World War that you're going to have an Englishman in that parliament, right? Standing up for you, standing up for the people of Runcorn, right? And Runcorn and Helsby, airing your grievances to the Crown and Parliament. That's what the job is, not to represent a political party, right? Our manifesto as a political party is the English Constitution. We're unique. The same as England is unique. We've been a country for 1100 years. This is not a green screen behind me. These are real law books. We do have a constitution, right? And if you don't believe me, there's a great lawyer out there who's written books. He's now passed away, but John Law's, the Common Law Constitution, the Hamlin Lectures, right? None of what I say is lies. It's all backed, right, by real law, the Constitution of England. Now I'm going to show you something, right? I'm going to share this on your screen, and we're going to talk about what's going on with our justice system and that parliament, right? So on the screen, you'll see a Mike Amsbury who stood down as an MP over an assault conviction, right? That's what over an assault conviction, right? He beat up his constituent. He beat him to the ground, and when he was on the ground, he carried on punching him. He got convicted. He got sent to prison for 10 weeks. 2 days later, he had an appeal. They released him. Right? Just listen to what I'm saying to you, what they actually did with one of their own. Now I'm going to show you something else. I want you to listen carefully, because all of this is about torture, right? So I want you to keep in mind the Criminal Justice Act, 1988, Section 134, torture, because I'm going to get into one other thing while we talk, right? These people, these two people here, arrested a 93-year-old man in a care home. The guy was in a wheelchair. He had diabetes. He had one leg. He had dementia, one leg, diabetes, right? And in a wheelchair. 93 years old. Here's the man, right? They tasered him. They gassed him with pepper spray, right? And then they battened him, handcuffed him. He was taken to hospital because when they got him back to the police station, the sergeant said he needs to go to hospital. He never came out of hospital. He died less than 3 weeks later. The coroner said not from his injuries from arrest, right? They tried to get away with this completely, but we've been on this case from day one, right? Because we think it's absolutely outrageous that all they have been charged with, they tried common assault, and then all they tried to charge them with, and they're currently on trial for it, or not currently, but will be in May, ABH, actual bodily harm. Bearing in mind the man died, he never come out of hospital, he's 93, he's in a wheelchair, he's got one leg, he's got diabetes and dementia, right? They've tasered him, beaten him with batons, and gassed him, right? These two police officers, 30-something years old, right? And this guy, 50 years old, and they both denying the charges, right? They're both pleading not guilty, right? They're both on bail. I just want to make sure you understand this. They're on bail. Mike Amsbury was on bail, right? For beating up a constituent, right? Just make sure you understand this. Let's go on to the next. Now, these people should be charged. This geezer here and this one here should be charged under the Criminal Justice Act 1988, Section 134, torture. It absolutely fits torture. Section 6 tells you it's a mandatory life sentence. Mandatory life sentence. The judge has no discretion whatsoever, right? This is all signed up, sealed and delivered, but no one is talking about it. The same Criminal Justice Act, Section 1988, Section 134, torture, should be used with anyone that's involved with the rapes of white English working class girls all over the country. It is for state officials. That means police, judges, CPS, anyone who's part of the system, the council officials, the social workers that allowed it to go on, all of them, police officers, all should be charged for that. That's what it's for. No one's telling you about it except us, right? And they're trying to keep it quiet. Now, I'm going to show you this. All right? This is about justice. This is an old case. Ernest Walter Saunders used to be a British business manager. He became known in the United Kingdom as one of the Guinness Four, if everyone remembers that, right? A group of businessmen who tried illegally to control the share price of Guinness Company. He was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. He was later released after 10 months because he was thought to have Alzheimer's disease. He later recovered. Within months, he was back on a board, right? You're telling me there isn't a two-tier justice system, and it's gone on for a long time. It's the working class in this country, right, that are taking the brunt of this. Shh. I was going to swear, I'm not going to, right? Now look at this case, right? After learning of the murder of 3 young British girls, Lucy Connolly wrote, "Mass deportation now, set fire to all the effing hotels," and she didn't write the full word, full of beep, right, for all I care. While you're at it, take the treacherous government and politicians with them. I feel physically sick knowing, right, here it is, knowing that these families will now have to endure. If that makes me a racist, so be it. After she took her dog for a walk, she returned home and deleted the post. She did it in anger, right? It was visible for less than 4 hours. Despite that, she was arrested and denied bail. Lucy is being jailed for until her daughter turns 3 for a post on X. There is no free speech in Britain. J.D. Vance was right? Now, she got, as far as I know, 31 months, never got bail, right? Go back and have a look at these people, right, who killed 2 police officers, who killed a 93-year-old man in a fucking wheelchair, right, with 1 leg and dementia, and he had diabetes. They tasered him, they beat him with batons, and they gassed him, and he died. He never came out of hospital, right? And all they've done, these people have been on bail, they didn't even put their names, right, on the list in the court. And they put their addresses as Hastings Police Station, right? These 2, right? They've moved it out of East Sussex to Southwark in London because the local people are demanding justice, right? So they're trying to keep it all quiet. That's the two-tier system. And then you've got the rape of our children all over this country, right? And this country, I speak of England. I'm an Englishman, right? I need you and you need me, right? There it is. Houses of Parliament, vote on the 1st of May. If you don't vote at all, right, you are complicit in the treason that is happening in this country. If you want someone to give a maiden speech like you've never seen before, right, in real history, then make history. And to all the alternative media out there, I want you to listen to me, right? You're not supposed to be parroting the mainstream media. The reason the internet and this medium exists is for you to talk about alternative views. And one way to bring England back and distributed governance where we, the people, take back control of our country is to void the Acts of Union. And to all of them Muslims out there, I don't understand why you won't vote for England. Because one group of people absolutely don't want independence for England. That's why they've never given us the vote. An English national vote on voiding the Acts of Union. Do you know what happens if you void the Acts of Union? Do you know how powerful your vote is? The Balfour Agreement will no longer exist. The Palestine Mandate of 1923 will no longer exist. And the partition of Palestine will no longer exist. I wonder who has a benefit in stopping the English from voiding the Acts of Union. Why is it cannot be discussed on any platform? Who has control of these platforms? Who has control of alternative media and mainstream media? Just think about that, people. If you want justice, if you want our rights back, the English Constitution that protects us all, then vote for Graham Moore. Vote for the English Constitution Party on the 1st of May, 2025. And I will show you justice for the constituents of Runcorn and Helsby. I will air your grievances to the Crown and to Parliament. That's what the job is, not to be controlled by a whip. We do not have whips. We are constitutionalists. That's it. I hope I've made myself clear, but I'm telling you, those kids, justice delayed is justice denied. The Criminal Justice Act 1988, Section 134, torture, it was put in place to make sure and ensure that the state does not allow the rape of our children. They are English, predominantly white English working class girls. Take back our justice system. Elect someone who understands our justice system. That's it. Good night, God bless, and get this out to everyone. Thank you very much. Hello. Can you all hear me? Give me a 5B5 if you are seeing me. Let me come back off of that a second, because I'm going to take you back to something else. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk to you to make sure you all was seeing that. I've rerun that again because the promo, that was the promo isn't then covered. So I'm hoping the sound was fine and you can all see me. I can't express to you how important this election in Runcorn, and let me take these off. Grubby Barnet cut today. Runcorn and Helsby is, right? I'd like to sit there with my hat on, but I just don't think it works, right? But it's crucially important. We're going to be there on the 12th. The post office, I am going to bring it up on the screen for you as well. But before I do, I'm going to go back and show you a couple of other things. Now, just so you're all aware of this, all right? Just so I know that you know. I know that you know, right? But I just want to make sure that you understand, because I'm going to say something crucial towards this, right? Criminal Justice Act 1988, Section 134, right? There it is. It's on your screen as we speak. Let me bring it up and see, hopefully, if you can see it on your screen properly. Now, there's a number of parts to this, but one, a public official or person acting in an official capacity, whatever his nationality, commits the offence of torture if in the United Kingdom or elsewhere he intentionally inflicts pain or suffering on another in the performance of his purported performance of his official duties. Two, a person not falling within subsection 1 above commits the offence of torture, whatever his nationality, if A, in the United Kingdom or elsewhere, he intentionally inflicts severe pain or suffering on another at the instigation or with the consent or acquiescence, right, of a public official or of a person acting in an official capacity. So the Pakistani rapist can get done for torture, right? That's the offence, because the government, the MPs, the judges, the system acquiesced to it, right? Or consented to it, or in some cases actually acted in their involvement with it, or they omitted from reports what was going on, right? That means they're involved, right, in this crime. Now, again, it says the official or person performing or purporting to perform his official duties when he instigates the commission of the offence or consents to or acquiesces in it, right? And then it also says it is immaterial whether the pain or suffering is physical or mental, and whether it is caused by an act or an omission. So all of these relevant parts are in there. Now I'm going to give you, again, I just want to make sure you understand this. Section 6, a person who commits the offence of torture shall be liable on conviction on indictment to imprisonment for life. It is mandatory. There is no discretion by any judge. It is mandatory. Now here's the crucial point of law. Associated with this offence is the crime of conspiracy. Conspiracy is wide-ranging. It's a very open criminal offence. And those that knew that this was going on and did not report anything to the police, did not assist with any inquiries, for example, the families of the rapists, the torturers, because that's what they are, they can be subjected to conspiracy to cause torture. Now, people must understand that the police and the CPS cause offences to come under conspiracy to catch a wider group of people. That means that the people in the CPS, the council, the social services, all of those people are captured under conspiracy laws. And the conspiracy to assist or commit torture. Right? That is what we're talking about. Now, I'm not legally qualified. I am a paralegal, but I understand what this means. I can read law just as well as any of these so-called solicitors, so-called lawyers, so-called judges, so-called barristers and king's counsels, and they have all got access to legal professionals. That shows how big this conspiracy is. This whole conspiracy can bring down this government, and it will shine a light on every previous government that was involved. And they were all involved. People need to understand you need to use the law in the same way as they have operated and used the laws against us for standing up against these rapes, where they have put a mother, a married mother and Christian, in prison for sending out a tweet. She was never given bail. 31 months as far as I know. Peter Lynch died in prison. Yet all of these conspirators to cause the offence of torture are being allowed to get away with it. Not one person has brought this up. The lawmakers, the so-called lawmakers, the British Parliament, the people that have let you down so badly. In that Parliament, Don't you think one of them should have brought up the conspiracy laws? Don't you think one of them should have brought up the Criminal Justice Act 1988, Section 134, torture? And by the way, people, these offences, the outside world don't know that the British have been suppressing any applications made. This is one of the unique laws in this country where you have to make an application to privately prosecute or prosecute to the Attorney General. This is where Blair pulled away from the people our access to torture laws. Cruel and unusual punishments, and it's in the English Bill of Rights. It's in the Magna Carta. But this group of people, the British, right? This British system, who are the majority of the girls being raped? They are English. They are white and they are working class. I don't see anyone out there, the alternative media. You've got Andy the Gabby Cabby, who's given us a shout out, right? All these other ones are giving it large. Let me tell you something. Why is it? Why is it? Just tell me this. Why is it that the only constituent nation that has never been given the opportunity to vote whether they want to stay in this union or not, and it doesn't affect the Brotherhood of Nations, you return back to the Commonwealth. You return back to separate nationhood. It is the antithesis of globalism. Why did they allow the Scots? Because they're manipulating it. Yeah, well, they want to stay in it. They can't manipulate the English. Andy the Gabby Cabby done, literally, he put it out there as a poll. Do you regard yourself as English or British? 67%, 19,000 votes. The alternative media is supposed to put alternative views and alternative solutions. Are they doing that? No. There's not one single party, people, anyone out there putting this solution forward. And it is a solution. Why is it that this solution isn't allowed out there? That they will suppress you? That if someone calls themselves the English Defence League, they will attack you and attack you and attack you. Whether you like the geezer or not is irrelevant. The founder of the English Defence League was Tommy Robinson. Now are you surprised why they're doing this to him? People need to understand this is an attack on the English common law jurisdiction. And it is an attack by the communists, the Marxists, the Third Way, the fascists and the communists combining. Authoritarian government where you are the slaves. You are enslaved by usury. Who is it that doesn't want usury? That religiously does not want usury? Islam and Orthodox Christians. Really? And who do you think would have a vested interest in pitting them two religions against each other so they can carry on with their usury? Who do you think would have a vested interest in ensuring that no one ever knows about the 70 million Christians that were slaughtered in Russia? And by whom? The Bolsheviks. Who were they? Mainly Jews. Not all Jews are bad. There's different factions, the different sects, but there is a Jewish mafia. And we can talk about the Russian mafia. We can talk about the American mafia. We can talk about the Italian mafia. We can talk about the Irish mafia. But there's one mafia. Above all, that you cannot talk of. The Jewish mafia. I am not suggesting in any way that all Jews are bad. They are not. But they are just. The good ones are just as oppressed and suppressed as what we are. But we need to stand up to this whole system. They are sacrificing England, our rights, our constitution, and they are sacrificing our children throughout England because they want to save Israel. That's what they're doing. Because they know if you void, not repeal, right? Repeal is a nonsense. You've just seen that happen with Brexit. You do not repeal. I kept telling them, do not repeal, it must be made void. Because everything from that date in 1707, everything that British Parliament did, everything that British political crown did, and all association with that British Parliament is null and void. What does that mean? It simply means the Balfour Agreement is null and void. The Palestinian Mandate of 1923 is null and void. And the partition of Palestine is null and void. And just so you all understand this audience is fantastic and I know you get it. There are Christians in Palestine. There are many Christians in Palestine. There are many Palestinian Christians sitting in Jordan at the moment. Israel. Let's talk about Israel. When you say the name Jesus Christ, they spit at you. You cannot speak from the Bible on the streets of Israel without being arrested. What is going on in this country now? That is not, I repeat, is not Islam doing that. When you can't pray, when you cannot pray silently but get arrested as being a Christian, the Crown has perjured their oath by their deeds. And their deeds is what their government and their courts are doing. They belong to the Crown. Once you understand what's going on, go back to the Glorious Revolution. Go back to the debates of whether the king had abdicated or absconded. Go back to Sir John Holt, one of the drafters of the English Bill of Rights, and Lord John Somers, not just the drafter of the English Bill of Rights and the Declaration, but also the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, and the Keeper of the Great Seal of England, all in this book. They drafted it up and they spoke without a crown, without a king, technically a republic. We had a deal with the future kings of England. It was called the Declaration of Rights. It is private law. It is a contract between us, the people, and them, and they have perjured their oaths. Our military has been destroyed by this Crown, by this British government. Our English regiments have been torn from us that stood to protect us, the people. Our weapons have been taken away. Their laws have deceived us by sleight of hand. They repealed elements of the English Bill of Rights without even telling you. They put into place the British Nationality Act 1947 and 1981, and they didn't even tell you what was going to happen. You know why? Because we lost the Second World War, and we lost because the Soviet Union, the Marxists, the communists The Bolsheviks won that war. When are the people going to listen? The Bolshevik Soviet British Union has now banned BitChute, a platform they intend to ban, and they're in progress with attempting to ban Rumble. I'm not allowed to speak on Facebook. They'll shut it down. They took my PayPal and no one said a word. Nigel Farage is Benedict Arnold. The closest you've got to any help here is Rupert Lowe, but he's still very British. He has been brainwashed. He is incapable of thinking outside of the British Soviet bloc. A return to our nationhood, a return to the shires and counties and districts and parishes, a return to our churches. We need to return to Jesus Christ. I'm not asking people to be overly religious, but just have a belief in the country. Stop being shy of saying, I'm English. And the only time you'll say it is on an anonymous vote somewhere. But at least we know it's still there. What happened in the USSR? What happened? When they took down the Soviet Union in 1991, we are unique as a nation because we have that opportunity. And the brainwashed by the state who don't believe we have a separation of powers. David Starkey. Listen, what can I say to David Starkey? Everyone thinks, oh, David Starkey. Peter Whittle, right? They got enough money to fuck off tomorrow. You ain't. I ain't. Working class people, these people, the middle class, have fucked up this country. Yet again. The aristocracy don't care. If you go and have a look at the plan, go and look this up. It's called the Lancaster Plan. It was written about. It's exactly what's going on now. They've recreated the Wars of the Roses, except it's us now with this sectarian battlefield, which is what you're going to see. Enoch Powell was right. He wasn't wrong, but he was telling you the truth. And one of the crucial things that he once said is, he said the British people will learn. They'll know, they'll learn, they'll see it. Now you are seeing it. You've seen them stitch you up over the European Union and Brexit. We warned and warned and warned you must void the European Communities Act of 1972. It was ultra-vires. It should be made void. And the people didn't listen. Who was it who never pressed for that? Nigel Farage. Why? Because he knew what he was doing. Why did he go to Scotland and persuade them to stay in the Union, knowing that if Scotland had voted, and by the way, people, I'm going to tell you some home truths about Scotland, right? He knew that if they had voted to leave the British Union in 2014, we was automatically all out, no deal with the European Union. Out. Right? Because you would have avoided the British Union. Once that gets taken down, it's down. Let me just say this to you. The British don't have a constitution. They don't have a Bill of Rights. That's why they keep harping on about a Bill of Rights. Because we, as England, are a captured nation. And we are the only people that can take this country back. But they won't let my voice go out there on these platforms. The alternative media, right? The alternative media, bar a few of them, right? There's some great channels out there, but the majority, they're not in it. I've seen some of the messages coming back that people screenshot and show me what these people have. They say one thing on their channel and another thing in private to people, right? They speak with forked tongue. You don't get that with me. I am a patriot, an English patriot. That's it. I will give my life for this country, but I will be fucked if I'm giving my life for a bunch of middle-class cunts, right, who fuck this country up and will fuck it up again if we allow them to continue to do what they're doing. We need as many of you as possible to be contacting these big names, right? Out there, Lucy and Juicy sent a load of I put a number of details out last night. People need to be, you're the producers, but to sit down, listen, you're the audience tonight, you're listening to me raw and just telling you the way it is, right? Trump is a patriot for the United States of America. He sussed out the North American Free Trade Agreement. He understood what it was, a mirror of the British Union, took it straight out. They knew what was coming. He knew what they put in place, and he knew how to take it out. You know why? Because a man can think. He is capable of thinking. When he starts to listen to someone, that's why he ain't talking to Farage, right? He knows Farage is Benedict Arnold. He knows Farage is part of this system that is assisting to capture America. And President Trump is having none of it, right? This is a communist takeover of England. It's not Nazi. And by the way, everyone, everyone should understand this, right? Adolf Hitler was one of the people that got rid of the central banking system from Germany. And Germany started to take off, right? And they had to crush him. This whole system is about... People who think bankers are capitalists are completely wrong. Central bankers are communist, right? That's what they are. Communist. They seek to enslave you with usury. Jesus Christ knew that. I know that. You know that. So how do these people keep moving forward with what they're doing? Why is it that when they introduced the Federal Reserve in 1913, there was no one paying any income tax? And they said it's for the top 2%, that's it. By 1947, every single household in America was paying income tax. Do you not think someone conned someone? And they got the control. Because then what they started to do was produce a welfare state. Right? Now, I'm not suggesting with our system in any way or form that we don't need some sort of welfare for disabled and elderly people, etc. But you have been conned. You have been lied to. The National Health Service is an absolute disgrace. Look what's happened to Lucy Letby. What happened with that lady, right? A lovely nurse, right? What happened to her? She had the experience. She was looking around and she could see the doctors making all sorts of mistakes. She could see how disgusting the ward was. She could see shit running through the ward of little tiny babies. She could see doctors that didn't know what they was doing, Googling what a procedure was, when she knew it. She'd witnessed it so many times. She was experienced. And then the doctors started to fear her. And the National Health Service management started to fear her as a whistleblower. Who got their throat cut? Lucy Letby. Right? Lucy Letby. The nurse. The power of the state was upon her. And the sacred cow of the state, the National Health Service, the sacred cow of socialism, right? I'm not suggesting to you in any way or form that a completely privatised National Health Service is a good or bad thing. But I have spoken to my dad, who's 95, who remembers the National Health Service before and said he believes it was a better system before. When it was localised, when it was managed locally, not centrally managed, which it is now. Who are getting all the benefits from being in the Union? Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland. And I'm not having a pop at Northern Ireland. But if Wales and Scotland want to be socialist, there ain't a problem with that. England is a conservative nation. We are a Protestant nation. Come out of the Union. We're a brotherhood of nations. Respect our borders and our boundaries. By the way, there's a fucking great big wall there. If you commit a crime in England and you're Scottish, you're going straight back over that wall. And if you ever set foot in this country again, right, you will go to prison for 20 years. We'll set up an island for you, right, until people learn you respect England. And I expect that vice versa. You're on your best behaviour when you're in someone else's country. That's the way it should work. Instead, how does this operate? They get free university education for their kids. They're being programmed. They don't have to pay prescription fees. Who pays for it? The English. We pay more to the Scots than we was ever doing into the European Union. And the Scots say, and they're a region of the European Union, and they want to destroy England with regionalisation. They fear England, right? We're the good guys here. We're not the bad guys. We're warning everyone. We're telling people what's going on, right? They haven't got a dissolved parliament. They've got a European Union assembly, an administrative region. And yet they're all standing there saying, yeah, England's a bad guy. Really? Once that wall goes up and you're on your own, make your application to the European Union. You are not of any value whatsoever to the European Union. They do not want you in the European Union because you can't provide anything to a socialist system. Scotland cannot provide anything. But what happens with Scotland? Think about this. 250,000 jobs minimum rely on British administration jobs in Scotland. They pushed all the administration jobs. They give them all their nice retire at 45, 50, get a 2/3 pension, all coming from the English. What do you think's going to happen when that's all gone? That's why they won't give the English a vote. Part of the reason. How about Wales? DVLC, all these different functions all moved into these areas. VAT office in Northern Ireland, DVLC, all the administration roles. All the regulation roles put into the socialist areas. And who's the people paying for it? The English. And the English working class. Who was it who freed the slaves? The English. Not the British. The British wanted to carry on. The main slavers who owned the ships were fucking Jews. That's my mini rant over. Don't forget, sharing is caring. The more you share this, the more people are going to see it. 1, hit the subscribe button. It's really important. The British are trying to take the Rumble platform down. They've just succeeded with BitChute. And they're telling everyone, they're telling the world, we believe in free speech. Really? I'll guarantee you, right? All of my channels on YouTube have been taken down. All of my platform on Facebook have been taken down. Even on Twitter, they took down my platform, right? Recently, last year, our platform, right? Every time we get up to 10,000, 15,000, 25,000, 50,000, bang, hit them. Don't let the English get out there, right? Rumble are the only people that have allowed, hit the English flag. Show everyone what Rumble allowed us to do on this channel. Just hit that English flag. Grasshopper, how you doing? Simon Lacey. Let's have a look. Kew Gardens. Look at that. Look at them English flags coming in there. People are understanding what's going on. Now, don't forget, this Saturday, the 12th of April, and on the 26th of April, we are meeting at the old police office in Runcorn, right? 1 o'clock, and I'm going to show it to you on the screen. Look at them. Look at them English flags. That's exactly. Now, Rumble was the one who did that. Do you see any other platforms doing that for us? I don't. And all we believe in is self-determination, the number one human right. The number one human right. And yet, the British will not allow it. They encourage the attacks from the Scots, the Welsh, and Northern Irish, right? And the Irish, and the French. Do you think there's a reason why Louis IX burnt all the Talmuds they could get hold of? Do you think there's a reason for that? Do you think our ancestors actually knew something? I think they did. They knew who was causing the problems. I thought X was free speech platform. Why was I banned? That's what I mean. They didn't even tell me why they banned me. So just under 10,000 on X, and they banned me. Before that, I had 15,000. They banned me. Right? So that's 25,000. Then people go, oh, look, they ain't got many followers. Well, you ain't been fucking banned as much as me. That's why, because I tell the truth. Unlike you, self-censoring, right? And then all these alternative platforms, so-called alternatives, they don't give you any alternative. They're just the same as the BBC. They're in the British box. They won't think outside of the British box. They don't consider that we've even got a constitution, even though there's books of it. Let me just show you, hopefully, if I can show you this. I'm going to take you to our website. Hopefully, you will see this and you can hear me. All right. It has gone down to that nice little drawing in the middle there. It's gone down to normal size, if everyone. The whole website, from my understanding, is going to be revamped. We have got someone who's going to help us. His name's Steve. And he showed me, believe it or not, I was on the phone to him about 5 o'clock this morning. And he was showing me what his own website and what he's done in the past. And he really wants to help, right? And he said, like, I will take over and help as much as I can doing that website. And then we've got Juicy and Lucy doing the Society's website. But people will have to bear with us, right, until we get all this up and running. And then someone will deal with all that stuff, right? I'm not just, it's not just me, but I can't stand working with these websites. It's hard enough doing other things and doing all the reading without having to sit there for hours trying to work out and then train yourself how to do something. And then you get it all right and then they take it down and then you've got to relearn it all. Yeah, it's just, it's naughty, right? But if you go to Runcorn and Helsby constituency by-election, which is up there, you will see English Constitution Party, English Freedom Fighters, Vote England, Vote English, Runcorn and Helsby constituency by-election, Vote Graham Moore, English Constitution Party, Runcorn and Helsby constituency. Action Day, 12th of April and the 26th of April at, all right, and then it goes on to say where it is. Remember, we are about rights. We all get old, we all die young, or we all die young in their wars, right? It tells you the address of the place. So what I don't want is to receive a load of emails from people saying, what's the post office? What's this? What's that, right? You know where the website is. The information is there. You click Runcorn and it will take you there. All the information you need is there. 1 p.m. But I'm going to be there about 11 and swatting about around there. And trying to work out what and how we're going to do. But we've got 10 big banners. We've got another 2 banners. We need enough people there with English flags and to show, and hopefully we'll have the badges there and we'll be able to show what it is we're doing, right? So just want to make sure everyone understands it. Runcorn and Helsby constituency, there it is. And then you have got a really helpful, which Kay did, PDF. You can download it or print it, do what you want, right? There is the information. It explains everything. Kay has gone through that and put everything in there that you need to know. Even, don't forget, we've got a lot of disability people with us and retirees and people who are a bit older. We've also got some younger people as well. All I'm saying is what we're about. The key thing is we're about rights. That is what we put out on our leaflets, and we're just telling, and them young girls have rights as well, and that's what we're standing up for. Again, you have just seen the Labour Party absolutely lie to everyone and get rid of any form of inquiry. The only person who's pushed forward, and by the way, we as the English Constitution Party put 50 quid in towards the inquiry, even though I believe what we should be doing is prosecuting private prosecutions for torture. At least the guy is trying, and I won't take it away from him because he's actually doing something. We've raised a lot of money, well in excess of 500,000, and we're part of that, right? So I just want to make sure everyone's. I think he is misguided in some of the things because he's of the British mindset, and someone needs to switch that off. So our pledge to you: justice for the English. We demand the prosecution of all state officials under Section 134 of the Criminal Justice Act 1988 for torture. Those who acquiesced, consented, omitted, or acted to cause the rape of white working class English girls, primarily by Pakistani Muslim men, must face trial, not just a public inquiry. Section 6 mandates a life sentence upon a guilty verdict with no judicial discretion. That's really crucially important, right? There's no playing games with a guilty verdict. Life means life. State officials include MPs, lords, judges, Crown Prosecution Service staff, ministers, prime ministers, police and council officials. It also means, with the conspiracy element, all of these people and the families. Now, Rupert Lowe has talked about the families knowing what was going on, right? Well, that's a conspiracy. Detain and deport. We will deport all illegal immigrants and all foreign prisoners, including those from Scotland, Ireland and Wales. This isn't about race. It's about protecting England's national origin, culture and sovereignty. England is a distinct country and deportees will be barred from re-entering England for life. And by the way, people, this isn't the first time a crown has gone boss-eyed on us, the English. In 1670, the king, the Stuart king, had a secret deal and a treaty with France to turn England from a Protestant nation into a Catholic nation. But he didn't tell everyone, right? He didn't tell anyone. And that treaty is what caused the Glorious Revolution, all right? So just to make sure you're all aware of that. And crucially important, again, all of that information is on there for people to go and have a look at. Crucially important to everyone listening to this, right, in a big way, you must understand that in history, the British Nationality Act existed in 1708, right? And they brought it in for compassion towards the Protestants who were being persecuted in Europe. Within 3 years, they realised they had erred in a big way. This is all recorded history. You can go and read it. Secret People's got it all up on his channel. He's put it out on Twitter. They had to reverse it. They repealed it all. And the reason they did was because even though they was Christian people coming into England, they was getting all our rights, all our arms rights, all our rights for petition, etc. And they was creating problems within our culture of a high trust society because they were European. They was used to European administrative law. They wasn't used to the common law as we are, right? And again, if you read them debates at the time, they were straight in there, no messing, no mincing with their words. This is why we need to do it. And they repealed it and immediately Queen Anne rubber stamped it and said repealed, right? They had to get rid of it in less than 3 years. Now imagine how much we've had. You've seen the changes since the Second World War. We lost the Second World War to the Soviet Union and they infiltrated this country. That's what you're seeing. How do we take it back? The English have to stand up. And these people that are communists, that belong to the Labour Party, well, actually, it's not just the Labour Party. They are, Tories are communist. Toryism comes from Fabianism. You can go and look that up, right? So people need to understand the Fabians, Karl Marx, is an extremely dangerous character in our history. They dug up Cromwell 2 years, I think, after he died, and they put his head on a spike in London. We need to dig up Karl Marx and get rid of him. Send him back to Europe. We don't want him here. You don't want his legacy here. And anyone who preaches Karl Marx and communism needs to go. We, as the English, are neither fascist nor communist. We are English. We believe in the English common law. We have rights, not rules. We have the common law, not administrative law. And once people understand what the law is, and there's lots of it, right? We're going to be doing that, going out there, doing our stuff, but we need help on Saturday, right? So again, I'm doing 2, I think, interviews. One of them I'm a bit wary about. I don't think it's going to happen, but the other one will happen. And the most important thing for everyone to understand is it is getting out there. I've noticed a couple of people say things. Peter Whittle even said, I don't know if people see that today on Twitter. He did an Oxford Union speech, and he said the legitimacy of the British Union is now in question, and it is. It's dead. The Union is dead because one of the people that allowed this to happen was Blair was Scottish ancestry. He was also, after he left office, he married a Catholic. He'd become a Catholic. The whole situation needs looking at urgently to save England, right? And these people have started to listen. They understand that the Union is under threat, that our anger of our working class children being raped all over this country, right? There was a few rapes in Wales and a few in Scotland. No one's denying that. But the majority of these rapes are white English working class kids, right? And the only people saying it, now we've got people saying white. That's progress for you. They're also talking about rape and torture instead of grooming gangs. That's progress for you. But English, the name England needs to be raised. And the only person who's going to do that in that parliament is me. And that's why we need to vote. So I'll say it again. Do you like my little board that I put up on the videos? 1st of May, 2025, Runcorn and Helsby. Vote for Graham Moore. A constitutionalist. I'm going to give you your rights back. I'm certainly going to voice the Constitution. I'm going to voice England for the first time since the Second World War. And don't forget Churchill, what he said. There's one word that means more to me than any other. And that word is England. President Trump has said it at the G7 summit in Europe. So again, people must understand we are making a difference. We don't need hundreds of thousands of us. We need 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 300 committed people. We've already now started getting people like you're the producers. You write the emails in your own words. You ain't got to send it to me. You ain't even got to copy me in. Get hold of these bigger accounts and say, listen, alternative media, there is an alternative view to this. And you need to speak to Graham Moore from the English Constitution Party. People are listening. That's all I'm saying to you. They're listening. And just to make sure everyone's clear on this, I love the Welsh, especially the Welsh women. I love the Northern Irish, especially Northern Irish women. The Scottish, especially the Scottish women, and the Cornish. But above all, I like Devonshire women. In fact, I like all women, really. Maybe it's a heterosexual thing. I don't know. But I'm just making sure everyone understands out there that we haven't got a beef with the Scots. The Scots are socialist, right? And it is their ruling classes that are socialist and communist. And I don't believe it's any of our business. Put the wall up and say, get on with it, right? If you want to have a trade with England, then you've got tariffs, you've got this, you've got that, whatever. Get on with it, right? And England will carry on inventing. We are the engineers, right? We will put the system in place that will work. And it will be working class people that do it, right? So everyone needs to understand that. And I'm sick of these people declaring they're working class when they're not, right? And I'm not having a go at everyone with degrees. There's plenty of people on our side in this group that technically you could say they're engineering, which is middle class, right? But they still get their hands dirty. They still actually physically work, right, and do what I would call private enterprise jobs, right? But once we take back this country, and we will, right? I have no doubt that England is rising. No doubt whatsoever. But that doesn't mean you sit on your arse and do nothing and sit and watch this, which many of you are not. The donations coming into my account are really helping with Runcorn. The stuff that we're buying, we've bought two big banners. They're cloth mesh banners, all right? You know, like the muted one, and it says, it's bright red, and it says, I speak English, not British, and it's got our emblem on it. So all of that stuff is going to be there, and we need to get the photos done and show that we're there. People need to understand, and they need to be brave enough to speak out and take their nation back. We are a captive nation of the British oligarch, the British regime, the Soviet British. That is what's happening. That's what's happened. And the way we need to keep pushing forward is to take it back. And again, the Cornish, I absolutely believe they are entitled to self-determination. How could England not say to them, I'll tell you what, first of all, we have to deal with the Acts of Union, which is Scotland and England, right? We have to make sure that we put the plan in place for Northern Ireland to be the same as the Isle of Man, put a border up as well. Or Southern Ireland comes out of the European Union and everyone gets together to get them people off that island, right? By the way, there's a plan for that as well. Everything can be sorted, but you have to have a will to do it. And we need you doing it in the background. But once the Act of Union, there was only two signatories, Scotland and England. Once that is resolved, and it can be very simply, again, Scotland could do it tomorrow. All they've got to do is pull back all of their MPs from Westminster. This is the law. You just reverse what was done at the time. All this other bullshit that the British are coming out with, it's a load of rubbish. What you do is you pull back the Scots, right? It's easier for them to do it. They shut down their devolved parliament or assembly, right? And they reopen it as a sovereign parliament. And then they turn around and they say, we are having a vote, which is the way we went into this union, on whether we want to void the union or continue. And if the votes to void the union is higher than it is to continue it, they're out of the union. That's it. We're out. It's all over. All right. The Scots could do it tomorrow. We've got a more dangerous problem because our system has been infiltrated to such a high level. I would be the only English member of parliament in that parliament, but you need to start with one. I'm going to try and show you a video. I think it's on this computer, but I'm not sure. Right? I'd have to go and have a look for you, but I'm going to try and show you this video because it's important that people understand it. what was the... Let me... Not now. Let's have a look and see what his name was. No, not him. Let me have a look and see what his name was. There was a particular name. I keep forgetting his name, but I need to look it up. Sorry about that. If you're hearing my tapping on my screen, that wasn't him. That's him, I think. That's him. Right, I'm going to look this up and hopefully I can find it on my computer and I'll run it. I've got it on the other one, but I don't think I've got it on this one. Let me go and see if I can find it anywhere. Put it on there. Let's see if I can put this in there. I bet it ain't on here. No, I can't find it. Right, that means I'd have to find it somewhere else. I wonder if I've ever sent it out on Twitter. Let's see it. There's a particular where it was a link. I'm going to send it out later. But the other thing that I did want to show you before we go anywhere else is our friend, an Irishman. Let me have a look. Let's see if it's on there. Here he is. I'm going to play this to you because I think it's important. And hopefully you can all retweet this. This is where teamwork comes in. The more you retweet this, the more likely he's going to see it, right? Now, I'm going to show this guy. I don't know what his politics is, but I'm going to show you what I've done. Let me put it on the screen. You know who this fella is. All right, let me see if I can pull this down a touch and put it on the screen, right? So he says, let's put him...
Folks from morning, folks from.
Let's put it on there. Right, pissed off from Cheshire, Charlie Lawson. Right, everyone should know who this guy is, right? And what I'm going to do is play this. Hopefully you can hear it. Tell me if you can hear it.
Morning, folks from another summery day in Cheshire. Listen, I've been asked, and I'm that pissed off about this. There are elections on May the 1st. So what did the government decide to do? Instead of having a national inquiry into the, let's get it right, paedophile, murdering, child molesting gangs up around this part of the hemisphere, by the way, they've decided to reject the idea of having a national inquiry. Instead, there's going to be local ones. Oh dear, what a fucking surprise. Because the local councillors and the local police are all complicit in these cover-ups and they don't want it to affect election results. You trust me. I couldn't be more... I mean, it's so blatantly obvious what they're doing. And that wee girl who spoke up in Parliament in the opposition, fair play to her. She wasn't afraid to say fucking Parliament. I could say worse than that. Anyway, look, have a nice day. Cheerio now. Bye. Morning.
Right, so all I'm saying to you is I put this video, so the bit that I showed at the front, I've sent that to him. You should watch... give this a watch. Runcorn and Helsby. I did a seminar in Northern Ireland a couple of weeks ago too, right? Maybe send him the link to that seminar so he can see it. But the most important thing is to grab that link and retweet, put a comment on it, quote it, because you'll see the quotes as well. But what I'm saying is you re-quote mine and you re-quote his, and the more you retweet that, the more he will. Let me see if it goes up while we're talking. Right, it's crucially important for everyone to send that out. People in the government. So he needs to be able to talk to us. And again, all that information's on there. And that little video at the beginning is there. So I'll put that back out again. So people have got it, right? Lone Star, I'll drink that. Evil personified. Right, is anyone, so does everyone understand 12th is this Saturday in Runcorn? Anyone who can get there, get there. We've got 10 boards, 2 banners. We've got some flags. We want as many people to get there so we can do a big, just so we can get some photos done, and then you'll have the Runcorn police office in the background, and people will understand that the English are there, and there is support. We've got support all over the country. The problem is we keep getting shut down, and every time we start to build momentum, even on the website, it gets shut down, right? And that's what happened with the website. So I just want to make sure everyone gets that. So far, that's as we've been speaking, it's got another 6 there. Let's see if I can have a look at that. It's got 7. I do love it when I do this and I'm talking and I see it going up, right? You inspire me. This audience inspires me, right? Like it. Don't forget to hit that button, right? Which is the bookmark. And then put a comment on there. The more you put a comment on it, the comment will go to him and to me. So obviously, be polite. Just say, Charlie, you need to watch this, right? And he'll go and have a look and say, what's this about? Again, the awkward part with anyone who comes from Northern Ireland is they've never been properly told there is another solution. The solution is complete independence and still coming under England as a protectorate. The same as the Isle of Man, the same as Jersey, the same as Guernsey, because they got their own parliaments, right? But the Isle of Man wasn't even in the European Union. That's what people don't realise. And the Isle of Man's got 80,000 inhabitants. All that. We're too small is a load of bullshit, right? That is socialist nonsense. And I just want to make sure people do understand this, right? I'm going to say this once more. If anyone says to you, where's that gone? Where's my little thing gone? It was there a minute ago, it's gone. If anyone wants to know, let me just see where that's gone. Oh, there it is. It's back again. Now we've had 12. Look at that. It's rocking, mate. People need to understand, and it is important to understand this. And I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, I know. The Marxists and communists will tell you we're stronger together, right? The Conservative Union Party will say stronger together. I want you to understand something. We was a Commonwealth before, and we was together. I just want everyone to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Stronger together is a Marxist, everyone should understand this, is a Marxist slogan. It comes from the Soviet Union. That's what they kept telling their people, stronger together. That's what the European Union kept saying, stronger together. It's bullshit, all right? You've just got to be strong enough as a nation and protect your own nation. You shouldn't be bombing other nations. But the main thing is we get our militias back as well. You can see my comment, can I? Oh, yeah, look, take a look. Previous seminar in Ireland, Saturday the 15th for the 3rd. Ulster Constitutional Seminar. 15th for the 3rd, 2025. That is fantastic, right? And they can decide whatever flag they want to have. And again, we're not walking away from them in any way or form, right? In fact, we're strengthening them. They've got full access to the English common law and the English constitution. Anyone going to Birmingham on the 12th can pay. Anyone going to past Birmingham on the 12th can pay. What does that mean? What do you mean for a lift? Again, the coordination of that. I don't know how we're going to coordinate all that stuff. That's another thing. We need to get that set up on a website. So when we do these events, there's a coordination page and everyone knows where they can go to certain parts or block offs or whatever. But we need to try and get people in there. The problem with me is I've got 2 interviews to do in the morning. Hopefully they'll be out over the weekend. There's another one coming out from LSB, which I've done this morning. And that should be out Sunday evening. There's more of it coming out, and as it comes out, and there's a couple of other larger channels looking to do an interview, but the 2 I'm doing tomorrow morning, that should be out pretty quick. And then I'm hoping to leave here tomorrow and then possibly be in Manchester tomorrow night. And then I'll have Friday to hopefully tie up with Paul to sort out what we've got to sort out. My car is getting massively loaded up with all different stuff, but some of it I don't think I need it. But we've just done everything we can, really. He means he can pay petrol. Looks like they need a lift. Okay, yeah, no, got it. Yeah. So militia 1688. Again, I know what it's like. And I know what it's like not having transport and being skint and all sorts of other shit. But I can tell you, the people have started to take note. Everyone's been saying to me, Graham, I'm sure they're listening to you because they're repeating some of the things that you're saying. So people are saying things. And remember, when they turn around to you and say, we haven't got a constitution, you say, well, how comes we live in a constitutional monarchy then? And then when they say to you, well, we haven't got a written constitution, just say, what's this then? And then you can show them the book or you can show them the law. You say, so why is it we've got at least 15 laws written out that are constitutional laws? And they go, oh, yeah, but it ain't codified. You say, so what's a Bill of Rights if it's not codified? What's Article 1? What's Article 2? What's Article 3? What's Article 4? Right? 13 rights and 13 wrongs. And the Declaration was 27 heads of terms. Just to make sure you know. So if anyone says it's not codified, they're talking out their arse, right? The majority of what we need is codified. And then you've got the other elements. The Magna Carta is codified, right? And the original Magna Carta still exists. Just to make you know, a bit about coffee is boiling. No problem. Right, let me go back. Take me off of that. Go back to my main. So that's it. I had no sleep last night whatsoever. So when I was speaking to Steve, right, he sent me a message and said, oh, is there any chance we can have a chat today? And I've sent him back a message and said, yeah. Then someone else sent me a message about 7 and said, oh, here's the link for the interview. I said, thanks. And they're like, are you up? I went, yeah, I ain't been asleep yet. I still ain't been asleep. I'm hoping I'm going to sleep tonight. But there you go. Charles Lawson is from where? Charles Lawson is from Enniskillen, Northern Ireland. Right. Tracy Truism, yes. What are you asking that question? Tracy Militia is from Birmingham to Runcorn. Yeah. So Tracy, he needs to get from Birmingham to. That's Tony, isn't it? Who I'll just say funny haircut, Tony. Right? No, he's got. Listen, I've got a funny haircut. Don't worry about that. Right? Let's see what else is going on here. Militia, Tracy, yeah. Right. So somehow we need to get, and that's all we can do. And then I don't even know if EP70 is going to be there on a Saturday. Militia 6 Tracy, thank you. Smiles happily. What's going on here then? Exactly. It's a British debt, not English. So the corporation is bankrupt. Yeah, it is. It's a British debt, not an English debt. That's the other benefit. People don't understand the benefit of avoiding the Acts of Union. If you avoid the Acts of Union, the British debt is dead with it. The assets belong to the people and belong to us. They don't belong to the British, right? That's just making sure you know that, right? In English 70 for 2 hours from Birmingham to Runcorn. Is it? BAM 7. I think people need to protest at the same point. I don't know what that means. DD, have you managed to read my email regarding John Summers? When did you send it? I've read through a couple. But you've been doing, but Simon Lacia, you've been doing some great work. I have read through some of it. I hope some video will be taken for those who can't go. Yes, we will be taking a video, but we're not doing it live. And one of the reasons we're not doing it live is because people don't come. And it makes it look like we've got no respect. And I know we've got good support, right? And again, so all the information is there. Good night, Sue Ellen. Steve Whitaker, wouldn't that cause a war when they come after English assets for British debts? No, not with an armed people. You'd be armed within months, right? Trust me. Under my rules or my rights and your rights, you would be rearmed, right? We're still a high trust society, except they don't trust us because they know what they've been doing, right? And they're worried. So I'm like, okay, as long as you know. You saw it, no worries. That's it. Right. I am going to say good night, God bless. I forgot to switch. I'm supposed to be switching over to do the private stuff. I'm too tired, to be honest with you. I hope you've had, apart from my bit of a rant, my pleasurable tones have been out there. Again, hopefully everything will be fine. So I'm going to say good night, God bless to everyone. I will leave the channel up for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to try and sleep. That's it. Thank you. Good night. God bless. And don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. I'll say that again, just in case anyone wants to take a clip of it. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. How's that? Was that all right? Did you like that? Good night. Don't forget, if there's any females out there, single, right, age range 35. I'm taking liberties there a lot, really. 35, 80. The pubs are all shut. When am I supposed to meet someone? All I ever do is sit here and get on this, right? Just to let you know, I've made myself blush again. I keep doing that. It's wrong, really, isn't it? No, listen, anyone. Scottish ladies, Welsh ladies, Irish ladies, Cornish ladies, Devonshire ladies, Suffolk ladies, Norfolk ladies, right? Any ladies, as long as you're proper female. That's it, right? Let's have a look. Let's see loads of English flags. Paul Sefton, thank you, Graham and the team. Good night, God bless all. And we are trying to organise all this stuff in the background. Bear with us, right? And don't forget the page is open, the membership's open, donations. Tracy will put that out there, but we need to get organised and get moving on a few things. That's it. Good night. God bless. Au revoir. Tiddly boot and all that. Bye. We need to restructure this whole system. They can't be allowed to keep doing this. Someone out there must say enough's enough. The Constitution, quite simply, is the will of the people. The will of the people against the will of Parliament. That's the piece of the jigsaw that everybody is missing because it has been removed from their education.
Welcome to the revolution. The people taking a stand. Rule of law and constitution. Free man on his hand. He is waking, rising up, speaking out. Enough is enough. He is waking, rising up, speaking out. Enough, 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 enough is enough.
People have had enough. I have just denied you the knowledge to understand that you actually have a constitution, and the constitution is the solution. These people, these elites from Oxford, most of the cabinet's made up of these elites from Oxford, just think they're rulers. And at some stage we all need to stand up and say, no, that ain't going on.
Speak up now for life and liberty. Where did we go wrong? We are fooled by a great conspiracy. We shall overcome, 'cause we are waking, rising up, speaking out. Enough is enough. We are waking, rising up, speaking out. Enough, 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 enough is enough.
It's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace what's going on now.